Good morning, Flosstube. It is October 30th, Tuesday morning, and I am so happy that I had a moment to check in with you before I head to work for my long afternoon and evening shift today. I want to share what has been finally finished. I do have 2 or 3 book items to talk about at the end, so you can feel free to shut that down if you're not interested in books. I have an update on Mary Queen of Scots, a little discussion about my problem, and then some crochet that crept into my whip pile in the last couple of weeks. So I hope today finds you in a good place and that you can enjoy relaxing and listening to a little bit of my corner of the world. So my fully finished object has been stitched since last year, but had not been framed. It is ready. Sorry for this glare as usual. Oh, how to do better. It is ready for the Thanksgiving holiday. Come ye thankful people, come. And guys, that glare just makes this so hard to see, but my dear husband ordered the frame and had ordered a mat that turned out to be the wrong color orange. So he went to Hobby Lobby and ordered this mat. And I would give anything to be able to show you this without the glare. But I'm so happy to have this ready for the holiday. Maybe that's a little better. It's just mirroring my room, it looks like. So this will hang in the front entrance hall as soon as Halloween is over tomorrow. And we are just thrilled to have it in a place to be used. So I think he has agreed that he can frame the smaller pieces, but he would not try the bigger linen stretching and lacing. So come ye thankful people, come, ready to hang. Yay, and the orange is perfect to match the pumpkins. Then I will catch you up on my Papillon Creations Mary Queen of Scots sampler. You all will hear a lot about this until it's finished, and I hope you don't get sick of it. But I have to tell you that it is one of those projects that is difficult to put down. If I had more time, I do feel that it would be complete. So, since I've seen you last, we have a thistle. We have a little motif under the thistle. I'm not even sure what that motif would be. Someone may can tell me. And then we have part of the castle. So that is 1/3 of the castle complete. Next time you see me, I want to have the castle completely finished, and I want to move down to the next motif there. Then I will remind you of how delightful Mary is, and then the motif in the middle that has the crown above it, and I'm making you dizzy, I'm sorry. Then the unicorn, and then the fleur-de-lis. Under the fleur-de-lis, down about level with the castle, will be the French palace, so you can see that. And in case you're new, I will show you how big this piece is going to be. Let me do something with this needle. So I did allow a lot of border, but you can see that it is going to be rather gigantic. All done in DMC 816. This was the color we chose because we thought it looked royal, and I never stitch with red, so I'm getting brave. It is just so fun. If you have purchased this pattern and you are holding back on starting it, I can only say go for it, because one motif leads to another, and that leads to another. Get a good linen though, since this is so big, or a good even weave that you enjoy stitching. All right, Oh, let me show you this. Lately, threading the needles has been a challenge, and a friend of mine very graciously purchased these needle threaders at her needle workshop. And I want to show you this one. I don't know if you've seen it before. It works so beautifully, and on the other end is a thread cutter. So I'm definitely going to travel with this little baby, but I'm so thrilled to find one that works. And what I would like to do is put a tiny piece of ribbon through the hole so that I can put it around my neck. That way it wouldn't get lost in my bag. So I don't know who makes this, but it's just called Needlework Threader. There were 2 in a pack. I think I gave one of them to my daughter when she was traveling. So I highly recommend this type of threader if you have not used it, and especially because you have the little cutter on the other end. Okay, let's talk about my problem, and then we will jump into some crochet. Guys, I don't know what it is about my getting to the very end of a project and then just losing interest when I run into problems. This is St. Paul's Cathedral. You remember this, and it was to be a birthday present back in September for my son. I would sit down to fill in this section here, and I would pull the wrong beige or the wrong ivory and stitch it and realize it was wrong and rip that out. As I told you, I was not a good girl in organizing my threads for this, and now I am paying the price. But if anyone has a suggestion as to how to move yourself on to complete a project when it gets to this point, I am so close. I don't know how many hours this would be, but the frustration of putting in the wrong color, not being able to find the color you need, questioning where you are on the graph, I'm a hopeless case. I so want this ready for my son. I would love to buy a frame. I think we could definitely frame this. So give me your feedback if there's anything you can think of that would kick me into action. I know that I can do it. It's just that I don't want to leave my other projects to finish a project. And that's an embarrassing thing to admit. This was from, oh my goodness, I've told you so many times now, I've forgotten. It is, here it is, the London collection. And it was one my husband ordered on eBay. The designer, it was made in England, Landmark Enterprises. The designer is Sheila Elliott. And as I told you, it is a delightful design to stitch. It is my issue, not the pattern's issue. And as I told you before, in the future, I will organize those threads no matter what, because when there are so many browns and beiges and off-whites, it is a problem. All right, so in the scheme of things, we have another grandson due any day. And so I got the bug to crochet a baby blanket for him. And I looked online, and my daughter actually recommended several YouTube crochet people who show you the pattern on YouTube, and you follow from there. So I have had so much fun with this afghan. I chose Loops and Threads yarn. The name of the yarn is Abby. This colorway is Blue Bonnet, which is very appropriate for those of us who live here in Texas. But here is what I have so far on this afghan, and this is called the Grit Stitch. I don't know if you can see that. I love the way this yarn does the variegation for me, and it is the softest yarn I think I've worked with in a very long time. So I chose to make it fairly narrow. It's about 30 inches wide. So I think I'm trying to get to about 36 inches long, not too far away. And then I would like to do a few rows of a border. Not sure what I'll do for that. Probably just a single crochet border. But such a nice way for me to get back into my crochet, and especially at this time of year when it's a little cooler. Am I showing you the back? Does it matter? Oh well, here's the other side. But definitely baby boy colors. So loops and threads just from Michael's. I believe that's only sold at Michael's. And I've used not even the whole first skein, so I may get by with just one skein, which means I have 2 more of these. I'll have to do some more baby boy Afghans. And let's see, we're down to books, okay? So if you are not a reader or you don't care about my little book review, then please turn off now and do come back to see me. If you haven't subscribed, just push that button. I appreciate your comments, your suggestions. Don't forget to give me a comment about my completing a project problem. And if you are a book lover, hang on for another few minutes. Since I'm stitching Mary, you know that I am reading Mary, Queen of Scots. I showed you the new version of the book the last time. This is the old version. This is a 40-something-year-old book, I kid you not. But the amazing thing that I found in my reading this week is the section about when Mary, Queen of Scots meets the Fraser clan. And this is right in the 200s for anyone who might be reading this book. Now, my family is the Fraser clan. And so I'm reading this with rapt interest. And I had marked this all those years ago when I read the book. But to be able to relive the time when Mary was in Inverness as the queen and the clan comes and presents itself to her was just delightful. I have to reread it many times because it was such fun. And it makes our time in Inverness even more special because now I know what happened there. So still plodding through, lots to process. It may be a year-long read, but to find my own family in the history was just awesome. And of course the author is a Fraser, Antonia Fraser. She is a very famous biographer, so I highly recommend her. Now, my friend at work, who always recommends the most delightful books, has gotten me started on this author, and again, I'm going to have a little trouble with pronunciation, Erica Bauermeister. She writes women's books. This one, Joy for Beginners, I have just read about 1 chapter. There are 2 others that I definitely want to read about cooking, but they are, again, women's relationships and so forth, and so far delightful. So I would definitely recommend her. I'll give you an update on these. The other one that I have that is the first one in the cooking series is The School of Essential Ingredients. That is the other one. So this is the one I've read about a couple of chapters. Very, very good. And then a comedy book that this same friend gave me to borrow. If you've not read Eleanor Lipman, I recommend her. But this one is called The Family Man. And it is apparently the story of how a man reconnects with a long-lost daughter. But from what my friend tells me, I will laugh and laugh and laugh. And you can see that this will be an easy read. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. And that will be it for today. I thank you for your time and come back to see me soon. Looking forward to your videos and seeing what you have made progress on. Take care and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.